My love, I promise you, you already have the answers within you. This video is for those people who always are kind of going outside to figure out or decide on something. I woke up this morning and I was like, I want to talk about indecision, about searching within to find those decisions versus looking for other people or asking other people for their opinions. Because it's something that my friend actually told me recently. He was like, I forgot how he said it, but he just was like, because you're so indecisive, you go back and forth, you'll say you're gonna do this and then you end up doing this and then, whatever that ends up being. And when he told me that, I thought about it and I already knew that was the case, but for him to say it, it just kind of like, that's something I do need to work on. I need to make decisions and stand firm on those things. And so this video will kind of be a mixture of why you are your best decision maker, and then also why it's important to be decisive, because indecisive, there's some things that it could point towards, like it could mean certain things when you're very indecisive. So yeah, let's hop into it. What I've noticed with myself is that, say something simple, say, what do I want to eat? And I know this, you're laughing, especially if you're not a woman watching this. If you're a man watching this, you're probably laughing like, yeah, women never know what they want to eat. So how I started practicing being more decisive was actually with eating. I would say, okay, you spend too much time trying to figure out what you want to eat. Obviously, the simple answer is meal prep. If you meal prep, you're able to combat that. But I'm talking about the moments when you didn't meal prep or you ran out of your meal preps and you just, what am I going to eat today? Now, whatever comes to my mind, like if there's two things, which would feel better? That's what I always ask myself, like which of these things would feel better to me? What feels better in my body? And I think as women, especially, like we really need to ask those questions, like what feels better? Because a lot of times I do want Taco Bell. Like I literally had Taco Bell last night. A lot of times I really want Taco Bell, and it's the most random thing recently, but like, Alana, deny yourself, and deny yourself, girl. You're doing good. You're meal peppering. That's another thing of like with self-sabotage. We could talk about that in another video as well. But Taco Bell, honey. But I still was proud of myself because I selected, I picked, I chose. Well, I chose 3 different things, but other people were eating too, so we had to come to an agreement. But just deciding, because how you do some things is how you do all things. So practice that just in small ways, whether it's with your food, whether it's with what gas station I'm going to go to. Just start making decisions a little bit more quicker, or feel into your body and see what feels better to you. It's as women, we're more of the feeling creatures, or feeling, not species, we have more feeling, okay? Like we tend to feel more, have more emotions that we're expressing, and just how we interact with the world. And so I challenge you, feel into yourself and make decisions. Just practice that throughout this week. If you struggle with indecision and deciding, or if just you want to improve upon yourself, like you want to get better at it, start practicing that. Another thing I want you to practice is, when you're faced with a decision, not going to outside sources for an answer. The reason why I say this, the reason why I recommend this, the reason why I think it's really important to do this is because a lot of times you'll notice, and this is not for every person, but if you pay attention, a lot of times what we end up doing, we're going to another person for advice and things like that. It's because we want confirmation on what we already decided on. This is not always the case. Sometimes you really just don't know. And you also, like, there's people who are so out of the loop, so not in tune with themselves that they can't decide. But a lot of people subconsciously, so pay attention to this when you're doing, going to advice for somebody, ask yourself, am I asking this person to get confirmation that what I chose was right? And to me, that is a sign of low self-esteem, low self-worth, because people who are high self-esteem, people who have confidence in themselves, when they make a decision, they're like, this is the right decision. Some people are cocky and they're like, this is the best decision, but when you're sure of yourself, you're like, I made this decision and I'm gonna stand firm on it. And if I mess up, I mess up. so be it. Like, but I decided this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick to it and move on. Obviously, if you need to pivot. This is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that confident people will make the decision and stand firm on it. They're not going to go around asking random people about it. Now, if you're going to seek wise counsel, okay, like, but most of the time, a lot of us are not looking for wise counsel. A lot of people are looking for, like I said, confirmation. They're not going to someone who's already been through this situation, who has sound advice. They're going to people because they want to justify whatever the decision is or be told what to do. And so what I challenge you is to look inside of yourself to find those answers. Do it in anything. Like I said, how you do some things is how you do all things, no matter how small or big it is. So just try it in little things, whatever that is. How do you get to that point? Like, how do I find the answer, Alana? Like, how do we get there? Yeah, obviously you can just say, oh, I'll go to a therapist. Therapists help. And I feel like a good therapist, what they do is they lead you. They give you the tools to be able to lead you to the answer. There's some people who go to therapy and they go there and they're like, just trying to talk about they're basically wanted a friend. They paid a friend to listen to them and they don't really want solutions to the problem. But then there's other people who go to therapy as a tool because they want someone to help lead them to where they want to go or to be better at something or to heal from something. So a therapist is not going to give you the answers. They're going to lead you to the answer yourself. They want you to find it. They want to facilitate that process, not give you the answer. So I challenge you to think about it like a therapist does, okay? And so if you can't afford therapy or you don't feel comfortable going to a therapist, here's some things that you could try. You could try just going on a walk. So whenever you're having a hard time with figuring out something, whether it's something stressful or something simple, go on a walk. Walks are quiet. Just go by yourself. Don't put any music on. Or if you're listening to music, listen to something like binaural beat, something chill. But I would recommend outside noises. Just be in nature. Just be outside. I know it sucks when you're in a city because you hear cars and people talking, but if you can go to a quiet place to walk, do that. 5 minutes and start thinking. Think about the thing. And if you feel into your body, the decision will be made. You just have to be brave enough to make that decision. Another thing you could do is you could journal. You could journal a couple ways. You could say, write down the decision, like what you're debating on, write it out and write like why, because I can't say what the decision is, like, right? But like, I'm trying to decide between two houses. Which house do I want to buy? And now to you, it'd be like, which one fits what I want? Which one feels good? Which one has the things that I want, the amenities? Like, it depends on what you're looking for. You need to figure out the journal prompt for that, but figure that out. Another way you could do it in the journaling is you write down the pros and cons. Like, so in a relationship, say this guy, you're like, should I just block him? Should I just move on from him? Should I just, continue on my life and be single, or should I stay with him? Maybe it's writing, what are the things that in relationship and friendships, and I think I need to do an interlude for this part. A lot of times we don't want to say like, oh, I want people to love us without expectations. And I used to be that kind of person. I used to believe this heavily, like love people without expectations. But like, yeah, I think that's more for your family. Like when it comes to that, loving them, there's people who you love you don't necessarily like because you just like have to love them. I don't know how to put it any other way. Like, but when it comes to people outside of that, the family and those groups, relationship, it's supposed to be a give and take. Like they're supposed to be bringing something to you. Like you're supposed to have something, like, cause then what's the point? Like maybe it's for you, it could be financial. It could be, I hope that's not the only reason, but I'm just saying like protection, love, it's camaraderie, the partnership, the, what is that word I'm looking for? Companionship, whatever those things are. So we forget that that's what we want. Like we don't want a friend who always spills their beans to us, who's always talking about drama, but never lets us speak. Like some of us do that, and that's people pleasing. And literally I made a video about people pleasing and how I'm not like succumbing to that anymore. I'm not being a people pleaser anymore. Like I'm over that. Like I did that for so long and I'm done. I'm done draining my battery for other people. And so when in relationship, if you do not, if we know that there's a give and take, like there's supposed to be something we're both bringing, I don't want to say bringing to the table. There's something that you're learning from this person, or they're helping you with whatever thing. But I think you get what I'm saying. It's just, I don't want to make this a whole relationship video on relationships and friendships, but understanding that if that's the case, right, write those things down. Okay. Like, what is he doing for me? What is he not doing for me? What am I doing for him? What am I not doing for him? How do I feel about this? Does he make me feel at ease? And then also when you're doing that, this examination, make sure you also reflect on yourself, because sometimes you are the problem. Like I made a video about that as well, but like sometimes you are the problem and people don't realize it. They're like blaming and being victims and saying this person is the issue, but sometimes you are the problem. And I'm not saying you are, but sometimes you are. And so being able to be self-assured enough and to be confident enough to say, okay, I am a problem right now. I have toxic behaviors that I really do need to heal, and I need to improve upon. And if that's the case, then maybe this decision isn't that him and you are in a bad relationship, you're a bad match. Maybe it's that you are the right match, but you two just need to have work to do. So you can come to those conclusions by journaling and reflecting and seeing those things. Another thing you could do is pray. This would be probably the first thing, like for me, that I would do is just pray about it. And if you don't believe in God and you don't believe in a higher power, then maybe for you, I mean, the things I'd mention is fine, but like for believers, praying, because God will lead you to the answer. I know sometimes he doesn't come when you need him to come, but I feel like he comes when he's supposed to, and he comes at the right time. Like it's when you need it. Like you don't think you needed it then, but he needed it. And I think when you do pray and you're waiting on God to come through and give you that answer, I think it's time to just release the decision. Don't sit here pondering on it, worrying about it, freaking out about it, losing sleep about it, talking about it, because you're just creating, it means you're not being faithful. You don't believe that he's going to deliver, he's going to give you the answer. I believe that when you let it go, you detach from that outcome, the decision, and just realize like, okay, whatever's going to be, it's going to work out. It will work out. Like the decision will be made. You will know. And I think if you believe that and understand that, it's going to work out perfectly. But a lot of people, we don't believe in ourselves. We do not believe that we have the answer or the tools. We don't believe that God has the answer or the tools either. We're just looking in the wrong places. Another thing you could do is meditate, which also kind of goes in line with walking or spending time alone. I would say those three are kind of similar. It's just like being able to sit with your thoughts and really think for a dedicated time. Like I don't want you thinking for a whole day and 5 days. For a dedicated time, thinking about why this decision, what I need to do. What do I need to do? And when you think about successful people, because like my first part of my career was like all like self-improvement, self-development. I didn't read like fantasy books, and like I'm actually reading the second book, but I don't have the cover on it, so I didn't want to show you the book. But I didn't read books for pleasure when I was younger. I read mostly books for self-improvement, to be better, to apply myself. And one these CEOs, these billionaires, these people who make a lot of money, even if they're not billionaires, but they're successful in their business and people like and love them, not for superficial reasons, but because they are good people, is that they make decisions pretty quickly. They're not sitting on them. They're not wasting time on a decision, because they know that the longer they take doing those things, sitting in this indecision, the longer they're away from creating, the longer they're away from solving problems, the longer they're away from growing themselves and growing others, or leading people, coaching people, whatever that thing is. You can't change the world if you're always like stuck in indecision. So you need to decide and understand that maybe that decision will be the wrong one, but it's better to do it, because you're teaching yourself every time you make a decision, no matter how little it is, that I can make decisions. I can do hard things. I could do small things. I could do big things. And the more you do this, the more comfortable you'll be at deciding. You'll get better at it. If you're someone who's been disconnected from yourself for a long time, this may seem really hard. And if it is really hard for you, do it anyways. Just like I said, small bites. It's for you, this could look like maybe you have a hard time shopping, like just with shopping. This is another good idea. I didn't think of this earlier, like when I first started talking about this, but shopping, that used to be a problem for me. Like I used to shop to feel better. I used to shop because I was anxious. I would shop as kind of like a form of escapism, to make me feel better. Oh, this is on sale, I need to get it. And how I trained myself to not be that way is I started to do, okay, I see something, and then I would say, wait, a certain amount of hours or a whole day, and decide if you still want it. And then if you still want it, you could buy it. That's something you could start practicing. A lot of people are just consumers. We're consuming so much. We're buying things. We're just whatever. Like if you're a blogger or a YouTuber, you don't have to get the latest camera. You could literally use your cell phone. Okay. The cell phones, the cameras are great. Like any camera within the last decade, pretty much, you can make videos. Like, you can make a video. You don't need a mic. My mic came with my camera, my vlog camera. But do I need this camera? No, absolutely not. I could use my phone camera just fine. I've made plenty of videos with my phone camera. I have plenty of videos with my phone camera. So making decisions, no matter how small they are, this could be financial. Okay. You know, today I know that I've said I'm going to pay down my debt. I know that I said I'm going to save money. So deciding today, okay, I'm not going to go eat Taco Bell. I'm not going to go to, I'm trying to think of random restaurants, Crumble, and eat this sugar, this cookie that's literally sugar, straight up sugar, and costs like $10 when I can go and eat what I need to eat at home. The decision of, oh my God, am I going to work out in the morning? Am I going to go walk in the morning? I said I was going to do this. And I'm telling you, if you have low self-esteem, if you're not confident, the more you do this, the more that you're going to become confident, because your body's like, oh, we say we're going to do something and we do it. We also decide. We're not indecisive. We're sure of ourselves. You are giving your body confirmation, evidence that what you say you want to be is reality. And it's just like that video I made with Atomic Habits. Like, you have to habitually do it, no matter how small. And that's what I'm saying. Do the small things. Make decisions quickly. Am I going to go left or right? Perfect example today. Walking in the morning, doing my hour-long walk. And I'm walking. I went to this park. And I'm like, I hadn't been there in a long time. And I was like, oh, the sprinklers are on. And I was like, And I kept walking and I was thinking to myself, maybe I should run through the sprinklers. And then I was like, maybe I shouldn't run through the sprinklers because then it's probably muddy, right? Because my old self, which is funny, I think I'm definitely getting back to the version of me that I want to be, getting back to my old self, but also my upgraded self of that version. I'm not scared of running in the sprinklers or looking foolish. It was more like, do I want to get my shoes muddy? So I decided, I was like, when I come back around, I'm going to go through the sprinklers. Now the sprinkler ended up going off when I went around the first time. So when I did my third lap, it had moved, like the sprinklers moved for some reason. I went to another part of the park. So then I went through those sprinklers and it felt good because it's still hot in Vegas. It was like 80 something degrees in the morning. So I was like, oh my goodness, decisions. And I was laughing because I knew I was going to record this video today. And I was like, this is a perfect example of making a decision. Jumping in the pool. One thing I do, and I learned decades ago, is that I don't think about jumping in the pool. I jump in it. That's what I do. Like, unless I don't want to get my hair wet because it's curly or something, like I have a do, I jump in the pool. Because the longer you wait, you get nervous, then you don't do it. Deciding, all the things I'm sharing with you will play out in life when you make big decisions, buying a house, the business you want to start, the relationships you want to be in. Keep doing this. Keep pursuing this mindset. And I'm telling you, amazing things will start to happen, because I've just been doing this slowly, gradually, slowly over time. And I see how decisions have played out. And I've made bad ones. Don't be afraid to admit that. I think confident, successful people know and understand that they're going to make the wrong decision sometimes, but they make the decision anyway. That's also showing you're not fearful. You're trusting yourself. And things may not work out, but that act, like, that's why failures to me are just lessons. Like, what am I trying to say? Failures to me are just lessons. If you use them as lessons, like, okay, dang, I made the wrong decision. Okay, what made that decision bad? Because I felt like it was all good. I felt like buying that thing was the perfect idea. So what happened? Journal about it, baby. Like, you'll be all right. Like, it's going to be fine. Don't take life, it's serious, but don't take it so seriously to where you don't have fun, to where you don't play, you don't have, any type of spunk life in you. Play, have fun with this when you're doing decision making. With your man, do I want to wear this set or that set? Like, play around, like, do what you need to do. Do I want to wear this outfit or that one? What book should I read? Like, for me, I don't take long to decide on books. I'm like, this is the book I'm reading. Read the book. So be quick with your decisions. I'm rambling on, but I hope this video was helpful. Definitely, if you have any thoughts on this or you have any other ideas to add to this, definitely let us know in the comments, because I know me and other people love to read. I love to hear other people's opinions on things. That's something that historically I wasn't interested in. I didn't want to hear people who didn't agree with me, but I'm open to it because it gives me a different perspective. Yes. So do that, share that, be respectful. I don't feel like people who are disrespectful watch my videos anyways. But thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. With all my love, Lana.